4 years, there's about 5 or 6 key skills that you got to master in order to make $1 million a year. How many of you are excited about being in the $1 million a year club? Okay? Well, there's only a few things you need to know. And I just want to explain this. When we talk about how this transforms our business, it makes all the key skills so much easier for all of us. But it's not just about the skills. This opens up a new world for us. Now, some of you may have already thought about this, but how many car dealerships do you think would love to have a DreamGiver card to give to everyone who comes and takes a test drive? I got a buddy of mine, I just asked him yesterday, I said, how many test drives do you guys have a month in your dealership? And he said, about 400. I said, what if you could make money every time someone came in and got a test drive, whether you sold them a car or not? He goes, that'd be pretty cool. I said, I'll talk to you when I get home. How many dry cleaners would love to say, hey, come in, bring your business to us, we'll give you $100 as a first-time customer? How many restaurants could give this away? How many gyms, how many personal trainers could use this as an incentive to either bring in more customers or close more deals? How many thousands and thousands of sales organizations are there out there who could use a card? See, I had a buddy of mine, he's not a network marketer, anyone have anyone who's anti-MLM? This is my buddy. I explained this concept to him, and he starts selling me on it. We could go to fundraising groups. There's thousands of fundraising groups who could use this. There's thousands of nonprofits. There's so many associations and organizations. And I started thinking, how many tens of thousands of companies are there around the world who have salespeople or any employees who travel? Could you give them a card to give to their employees? Here's the reality, the savings on the hotels. If there is a company who has any employees traveling, if they are not a member of our club, if they're not at least a basic member paying $27 a month for each of their employees traveling, are they losing money? They're losing a ton of money. I'm telling you, this opens up an entire new world of business. So let's talk about prospecting. Peach mentioned it. I went to the office and I got some sample cards. Now, it wasn't a DreamGiver card, but it was a sample card. And so I went from the office, I went to Starbucks and, I buy my coffee and then, you get at the little place where you get your coffee, right? And I'm waiting and there's a girl there. And I said, hey, do you come here often? And she's like, yeah, I work down the street. I go, oh, what do you do? She said, oh, I'm in sales. Oh, what do you sell? And she tells me. And I'm like, oh, man, you must love it. And then she asked what I do. And I said, well, I'm a partner in a marketing company in the travel space. Do you ever travel? And she says, oh, my gosh, I love to travel. I get out of town at least once or twice a month. I try and go somewhere, just on the weekends as a getaway. And I said, you know what? Let me give you something. And I reach in my pocket, and I hand her the $100 card. And she looks at it, and she goes, what is this? And I go, it's $100 off of travel. You can use it on 550,000 hotels. And she goes, I can't take this from you. She tried to give it back to me. I said, no, listen, it's my gift to you. Now, at the time, I didn't know we were going to receive $50 back whenever we gave out a card that got used. So I didn't even mention that. But from a prospecting standpoint, how many of you could meet someone, hand them a card, and when they ask what you do, you say, well, I'm a partner in a new travel app, and we actually earn $50 every time we give away $100 in travel that gets used. How many of you could do that? How many cards do you need to have in your pocket at all times? See, this is why I have a stack of cards in my hands. So inviting. See, what is the number one thing that we sell? This is what Wayne Nugent taught me almost 20 years ago. You guys are smart. Number one thing we sell is time. 20 minutes of time. How much easier is the invite with the card? Now, Peach talked about it. I promise you, it's going to be worth getting together with me. Now, we're having people that are using this, and it's working like crazy, and they're just saying, hey, I got $100 card. I've got $100 gift for you. When can we meet? Are people excited about meeting? And when you sit down and you give them a card, are they excited? They're excited. Who does not like getting $100? Everyone loves getting $100. So how many of these can you give away? See, what this is, we call plastic courage. See, all of a sudden, I'm bulletproof now. There were some people that maybe I was afraid to talk to. I'm not afraid anymore because when I give them a card, I give them a $100 gift, they're excited. They love me now. Are you guys starting to get the power of this? We're only on number 2. See, here's what happened. We had someone, and listen, I didn't do a big test. Anyone who I told about the card, we did. I'm like, listen, you can't put this on social media. We're just testing this out. So I had a leader that I gave this to. They had someone on their team, absolutely dead. Been in for months, never shown a presentation, never done anything. Now, just the give part, not the get. They didn't know there was going to be a $50 bonus, marketing bonus paid to you. But even with just the card, they went out, did 7 invitations, got 4 people to look at it. They've already closed 2. From a dead rep who's done nothing because they were afraid of the normal invite. The normal invite is, hey, I got something I want you to see, but I can't tell you what it is. How many of you have ever felt awkward doing that? Be honest. How many of you have ever felt awkward saying, hey, I got something I want to show you? And they say, what is it? And you go, well, I can't tell you. I'll tell you when we meet. That's why we're meeting. So now, can you say, hey, I got a $100 gift for you. When can we have coffee? Is that pretty simple? It's pretty damn easy. So we've had so many stories. I mean, just from a prospecting standpoint, I got one of my buddies, he's here on the front row, and he was watching Monday Night Football. He's at the bar. He's just sitting behind a bar. He's hanging out with a friend, watching the game, talking with the bartender, and the bartender's going on some trip, and he goes, oh, man, I'm in the travel business. Let me give you $100 off of your trip. Gives him $100. The bartender literally jumps across the bar, gives him a hug. He has a few drinks at the game. When he's ready to go, the bartender comped his tab. Why? Because he gave him $100 off of his trip. Are you guys getting this? Are you starting to see the power of this? We are going to have thousands and thousands of these stories. And right now, some of you are like, oh, the penny just dropped. I just got it. Okay? We had another story. So it was actually, I think it was Rhonda, at a lunch, talking to the waiter, says, hey, let me give you a $100 card. You've been you're a great waiter. Let me give you $100 off of your next trip. Do you ever travel? Yeah. Here, let me give this to you. And what's cool, can you believe that my company, they actually give us $50 every time someone uses a $100 card? And the waiter says, how does that work? He says, well, we're doing an event tonight at our corporate office, so why don't you come out? So they came out. Have they signed up yet? Not yet. All right. So they got someone to the meeting, right? So you're starting to see how simple it is to get people to look. The name of the game and what we do. If you can master the invite, there's no limit to the amount of income that you make. If you suck as a closer, but you can get enough people to look at it and see the power of this marketing system, no limit. So presenting, here's what I love about this, and I want you to understand this. Sometimes you ask someone to meet, hey, I got something to show you. And it's a little bit awkward going into showing them a business. Has everyone ever felt that? Like, all right, I got them to sit with me, but now I got to show them a business, and it's a little bit of a weird transition. So this is like a hot knife through butter. So you give them a $100 card and say, hey, I'm a partner in a new travel app, and we actually earn $50 every time we give out $100. So I want you to use this. And here, let me show you how you can use your card. So let me show you how you can use your card. You pull up your computer. You type in earnavacation.com. If we can put it on the slide, that'd be great. If not, no big deal. Earnavacation.com. Jefferson put this together. It is fully updated with the card information on it. So you have a tool right now, a presentation tool that you can use. So sit down with someone, give them the card. They thank you for it. Let me show you how you can use it. Turn the computer around, show them a presentation. How easy, how simple is that? Okay? Here's the thing about a presentation. If you want to have a high closing ratio, the number one thing that Wayne Nugent taught me almost 20 years ago is you've got to answer the number one question they have is, can I do it? So, do you think they can hand out a $100 card to someone else? It answers that question more than anything I've ever seen in 24 years of network marketing. I've never seen anything like this. So finally, closing. See, Dr. Peach has it nailed. So in closing, you also want to ask the question. So presentation's over. I turn to my prospect and I go, pretty awesome, isn't it? They're going to say, yeah, that's cool. And I say, listen, I want to ask you a question to see if you think you could do this. Do you think you could hand out $100 cards to people like I just did with you? What are you going to hear every time? Yes, every single time. No one can not hand out a $100 card. Now, if they're not ready to sign up, you're going to pull out a few cards and say, listen, here's what I want to do for you. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Here's $600 in travel to get your business started. Now, let's go get you 6 customers on the books. Make all your money back this week. You ready to get started? Yeah. Now, if you're like Peach is going to give them about 20 cards because it's worth it for him to give them 20 cards. How much value in travel is that? 20 cards times $100 is $2,000 in travel that you can give them to use as giveaways to the people that they know. We've never had a tool to close people on the spot like these cards. So how many cards do you want? A bunch. See, here's the power in getting a new rep started is simply giving them the cards and equipping them with the tools to go out and go crazy with this. And here's what I would encourage you to talk to your prospects. It's the same thing I'm going to tell you right now. We have done very well. We've done, I don't know, $3 billion in sales. Maybe it's $2 billion, whatever it is. We've done a lot. Over 1 million customers globally in 40 countries around the world. Have we done well? We've done nothing. We haven't even scratched the surface. What happens now, because of how easy it is to hand out these cards, if you pull out your phone and you scroll through your contacts, what you got to realize is every contact in your phone is going to get one of these cards. Your mom's going to get a card. I already gave one to my mom, so don't prospect her. Your cousins are going to get a card. Your aunts are going to get a card. Your dry cleaner is going to get a card. Your waiter is going to get a card. Everyone you come in contact with over the coming months, over the coming year, is going to get a card. This is going to go crazy on a global basis. No doubt about it. So, here's the key. You got to have cards on hand. And my friends, it is freaking go time. If you've ever been waiting for a time to run like hell, now's the time. Because we've never had a multiplier like this in the history of our company. See, this is like some of you have been trying to run, but it's been like you've had ankle weights on. You're like, man, I just can't get into an all-out sprint. These cards is like the ankle weight coming off. This This is like nothing I've ever seen. See, when I was 24 years old, I was blessed to meet Wayne Nugent. And I had 5 years of failure in network marketing. I always spent more than I made. For 5 years, I was frustrated. And I would carry around that baggage. For 5 years of failure, I carried around that baggage. And so I would see an opportunity, and I would maybe go for it, but I had this baggage. I didn't really believe that I could do it. And I finally realized that as long as I'm living in the past, I will always be imprisoned by it. So for some of you, you're going to have to release the baggage that you've had. You're going to have to get rid of whatever's been weighing you down, because this is the opportunity to run. And I will tell you, the team that has the most of these cards is the team that's going to go out and crush it in the biggest way. So listen, we've got physical cards. We're going to do about a 20-minute break here in a minute. How many of you want a card? How much is that in travel savings? $20,000. Potential earnings is how much? Now, everyone may not redeem the card. What if only half of the people redeem the card? How much have you earned? $5,000. What if only 30% redeem the card? $3,000. What if only 10% redeem the card? You've still made $1,000 in bonuses coming back to you for handing out cards. How many cards do you want? I am going to tell you what I did. I put in an order of 1,000. The reason why I ordered 1,000 is that's the most they'll let me buy, and that's the most they'll let you buy. So that's the limit.